Cheryl or Cheryl Magical Journey. Follow either or. I usually post nature stuff and some interesting. I'll be smelting gold with Shop LC at some point next week. That's going to be an interesting video. But first and foremost, we have Gem Fest coming up. If you are new to Shop LC, that is an event we put on every couple of months here at our corporate headquarters in Austin. It is from 1 to 5 on February 20th. It's a fun event. We have a fashion show, free food, seminars, meet the hosts, behind the scenes TV, studio tour. It's just free. Not a lot of stuff in life is free. So take advantage of it. Meet fellow enthusiasts that love to shop, love jewelry, love facial, skincare products. We have it all, and we have discounted shopping here for that time period, that day. So we'll have, if you're into red light, we have some of the machines that you can buy also at discounted prices. All kinds of great stuff. 1 to 5, the 20th. 15, I think, of our VIPs are coming, so everybody, congratulations on that. Can't wait to see you here. And some of them I have met at a previous Gem Fest, and I look forward to seeing those same familiar faces again. So congratulations on everybody. If you can't attend this one, maybe it's in your cards to put it in your future travel plans. And you can join our Facebook VIP Shop LC Facebook VIP website. And it's a space for women and men to really explore and talk about jewelry fashions, jewelry trends, what they like, what they don't like, what they just bought, what they're excited about. You can join that for free, and sometimes people on that website become really good friends. It's nice to have common interests with people that you can be excited about. As much as I love jewelry, my family, I've been in the business 30 years. They're not nearly as excited about the jewelry as people that love to collect it. So it does make for a fun conversation and an exciting place for you to join your fellow, enthusiasts and find somebody that you might connect with. It's not a dating site, but who knows? Could be. I don't know. All right. So welcome to Shop LC. So tonight I'm going to bring you some Southwestern inspired turquoise first, and then I'm going to move on to some really interesting beaded necklaces. Now, I love to layer. I had on, before I left my house, a liquid silver necklace along with a lot of other stuff that I call it taken off the poundage when I arrived here, because I really wanted to focus on our Southwestern jewelry we have here. But yeah, accessorizing is the best thing that you can do to take I'm wearing a black shirt, I'm wearing black pants and black boots purposely for my red jacket I was wearing. But when you accessorize an outfit, it goes from being just the normal everyday to really a look that people notice, makes you feel better. It is something that we have done since the dawn of time, whether it's, accessorizing with twig belts that they did in caveman time, up until, Queen Cleopatra with the giant necklaces that were, big neck collars, to tribes that have neck rings that stretch their neck. Accessories have always been part of cultures of every color, every sort, every size, does not matter. So what we're going to offer you here is Southwestern inspired, but not with the Southwestern tag price. So most of the turquoise is going to be Blue Moon turquoise. That's from the United States. Turquoise is predominantly found here in the United States. That was a tough sentence. Predominantly found here in the United States. And one of the big places that we do buy quite a bit of turquoise from is Nevada, believe it or not. And Nevada, when you get out there, if you've ever been traveling through the Southwest, you picture it as being mountainy and, like Colorado. It's not like that at all. It's very rough and rocky, but very dirt, not a lot of fauna, not a lot of giant trees and mountains, parts of it. That's where the turquoise is discovered. So what they do is they take these really sort of rubbly sort of landscaping, and they use dynamite and they blow it up. And through that, veins are exposed through the different rocks. And then they go in there, they hand pick up the pieces that are in the rubble, and then they continue with usually manual hand machinery, pickaxe sometimes, to get out those veins of turquoise, and then it's brought to people who can cut it, stabilize it, and then it goes into jewelry. So we have done that here at Shop LC. We have paired with a couple of United States companies. The Ottoson brothers are the first company that they have a face in Shop LC. We paired with them quite a few years ago. They've been on here TV and on our live TV many, many times. So a lot of these pieces, a lot of the turquoise comes from them. They have a show on Netflix called Turquoise Fever. If you ever want to see what I'm talking about, it's a great show. It's a mini-series, I think five different episodes. But great, they have their Japanese buyers come over and they show you all how the turquoise is mined and everything. Great, great show for information. So everybody out there, take advantage of that. It's a fun way to learn about stuff. Okay, first piece coming up I'm going to show you is this fabulous bracelet. Now this bracelet is going to be 7 1/4 inch with that beautiful toggle. Now if you can see the toggle, these rings are also textured. So each ring is going to be about 7 millimeter. That toggle, now I'm going to tell you, now watch me when I take this off, because normally with fingernails and a clasp, it's difficult. This is what a toggle is. Boom, off, easy peasy. The way this is manufactured is this toggle, this little bar, nicely fits through these little circles. And so you just put it through and it goes through very easily, and then that is secure just like that. Now it has complete capable of adjustability, which is awesome, because as people, we go up and down in size. Maybe this is something you want to share with somebody that you love and like to share jewelry with. You need different sizes, right? Now what I love about this has a beautiful fox. That's called a fox link. It is different from a snake. It is woven different. It's almost like a flat square weave. But this shows you the back side of it. That little fox weave gives you a really, really strong chain. It's not an open weave cable link. So I got Tony tuning in. I got Hi Rebecca. So it gives you, I'm going to turn this a little bit more. I'm going to turn that. Sorry guys. I think that's a little bit better. So gives you that really nice weave, and this is a fox link. Now, this is a men's ring coming up. So this is going to have 2, 4, 5 beautifully bezel set turquoise, right? This is called your Blue Moon, and that is specifically from one area of Nevada. So every different mine has a different area. There's Royston, there's Blue Moon, there's Spiderweb. And depending on the patterns that are in the turquoise, that is going to warrant, they name their mine. Whoever discovers it, they name it. So this person named it Blue Moon. Maybe it was a moon, and who knows? But anyway, I can make up a story, but I don't know. There's Blue Moon beer too. I don't know why it was named that either. But you are going to get 5 bezel set. Now, bezel set is when there are no prongs, right? Smooth. There's nothing that's going to catch on anything. But what they've done that's really interesting is they've actually textured with a little braided pattern around the top of that bezel. Most people that manufacture jewelry, including me, these are bezel set. Okay, so you don't see any texture around the top of the bezel. Why? It's extremely hard to do. You can melt down the bezel by creating and trying to solder that little extra texture. Extremely, extremely difficult. I wouldn't even attempt it, especially on a finished piece like this. So this is extra craftsmanship and extra work that Shop LC is doing, basically free of charge. Now, fully adjustable, solid sterling silver. Let's turn it over and see the undercarriage, because this is going to blow your mind. Look at the underside of that. Look at that. Completely 100% finished. And what I mean by finished, that pattern, this particular pattern that is on that bracelet, they don't have to do that. Most manufacturers leave that wide open. Let's see there. There you go. Wide open. All right. Why? It's less cost to make it like this. This costs more. It's a complete extra step of a wax making mold just to make that piece. Shop LC doesn't care. We bring you the best quality ever. 100 360. Perfect, no matter how you look at it. If this flipped over on my wrist, it just doesn't, it looks like I'm wearing just a regular bracelet. I mean, it really does. And that's what we do here. We manufacture the best goods at low cost. Now, this is solid sterling silver, 3.40 in just carat weight alone on the turquoise. Your price on this should be now $1,759 is for, this is turquoise, folks. This is something Southwestern. Go to a store out in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and try to find this for $269, right? It's heavy. Adjustable toggle. Fully finished on the backside. Absolutely beautiful bracelet. $269 is a steal deal. You'd be whipping out that credit card, whatever one you choose, whether it's a points card or not, to buy this and have a remembrance of your beautiful trip. Well, if you start a turquoise collection, what's going to happen when you want to buy more? You're going to take a trip out Southwest and pay retail prices over and over? Heck no. You found us here. You are in the right place at the right time. We are Shop LC, and I'm bringing this to you at an additional 25% off. Today, 25% off on the live stream brings us down to $202. $202. All right. Now, if that's not good enough, I'm also offering a budget pay, which means that our personal shopper will break that $200 payment into 5 payments, which is $40 a month roughly. Who can do that? We can do it here. And when we do that, we don't check your credit. There's no credit ding. We don't charge you an interest rate. We don't charge you a joining fee. We basically trust you. We are the bank that's going to send you out beautiful jewelry. And we hope that you are so thrilled that you actually tell your friends and family. And then what happens? Everybody starts benefiting from jewelry that used to be ridiculously priced in retail outlets. And now you can have an array and collection of really well-manufactured goods at almost a wholesale price. That's what the internet has done for us. It has changed the world very, very fast. So, like I said, $202. This is going to be item number shop 1. I'll put it close up to the camera real quick. Move it over here to my Facebook friends. That is the bracelet. Toggle clasp on the back. $202 out the door can be yours. And remember, this is a stone that is mined in the good old US of A. So that's something that we also, very few stones, other than we have a couple of necklaces. It's interesting when you really start collecting gems and jewelry and you look at, I have been in the business for my whole life. I love it. I have, sold, and many, many pieces have designed and passed through, and I've sold through my hands from other people. And but you start to look at the amount of gemstones that come from different regions. Now, peridot, surprisingly enough, 90% of the commercial peridot comes out of a Indian reservation in Arizona. Who knew that? Right? That's why you tune in. Because not only do you get great stuff, you get information here. So if you want to be a factoid person and be that person who, when you're sitting at a dinner party wearing your fabulous jewelry, and you say, oh, by the way, did you know this turquoise came from Tonopah, Nevada? And then you know what? It sparks up a conversation and they go, really? I didn't know there was stuff that came out of the ground here in the United States. So you can be the information outlet. And you know what? Anytime you're with people, I always say if I can benefit with some kind of information when I leave talking to a group of people, I always feel better. I just want to learn in life. I want to grab my interest, teach me something, tell me something. Okay, I'm going to tell you something now. So our next piece is a style that has been recreated. And I say that because it's a mesh of 2 entirely different styles. If you remember the show Friends many years ago with Monica and the whole show Friends, they came out at that point with what we called the Y necklace. All right. was a what? It was similar to this. It usually had one little stone hanging down here. And in the jewelry manufacturing world, that style hit. And billions, every color, every sort. That was the time when I was, big time into working for, I think, service merchandise at that point. We sold every color, every style. But in the Victorian age, there's a difference something called a lariat. And a lariat was something similar to this, a little bit longer, that women sometimes held their platinum Victorian fold-up glasses or other stuff. It depended. It was a style. It was a very, very opulent piece to have, and especially in platinum. So what we've done, we've taken 2 time periods, and this is what our design team does best. We have taken 2 entirely different time periods, one from 1900 and one from 1990, and we've melded them into create a beautiful southwestern necklace. Now, I have on the traditional squash blossom, upscaled version, something entirely different. Now, for me, I love to mix and match, especially when you're talking about turquoise. This particular material is meant to wear from all different colored mines, whether it's Royalstone or Sleeping Beauty or whatever, on and on. There's a million different brands and colors and stuff because there's little mines all over the Midwest. Those are just your big heavy hitters that I'm talking about, but there's much smaller mines that create very individual color, different matrix. But when you take 2 in different styles and you meld them into one, and then you create something like this. Now, this is also incorporated white buffalo. Now, white buffalo is only found in Tonopah by the Ottoson brothers. It is not actually turquoise, but it has a hardness and a matrix very similar. So they coined it white buffalo turquoise. Now, it is separated between your blue moon turquoise. Now, what's happened here, the Japanese culture loves the white buffalo. Because they believe in much of the Asian culture, the yin and the yang. And this particular stone has both the white and the black, so the yin and the yang. So you have the best of it in both worlds in one particular stone. So they actually fly over their Asian buyers to go to Tonopah, and they will pick through all the rough and all the finished product and take and buy whatever they want to take back to sell in their boutique stores and in their galleries back in Japan. And you can bet your bottom dollar, because I've been to Japan twice, what they're charging for that jewelry in Japan is 10, 15 times what you're paying, at least. And I'm not kidding. It is very, very expensive. But you know what? They fly over here, they hand pick. A lot of expenses, but still, when you're Japanese, it's very, very expensive land to live in. The cost of living is much, much higher. Anyway, so we have paired it now with white buffalo in your blue moon turquoise. And I love this because, once again, solid sterling silver. This is something that is going to look great on the neckline. Now, honestly, I could wear these both at the same time. When I talk about turquoise and I say poundage, this means, and I looked through the pendants. I was actually going to throw on a couple of really long pendants. I didn't bring my long chains with me, and the ones that they supplied are 18-inch, so I'm not going to do that. But I want to show you, realistically, look at this from afar. If this had on an extender, and I could take a sterling silver bracelet and actually extend this and just make that go around the back of my neck. So I would just clip this onto a bracelet, and then this would hang that low. Now, this particular piece is going to be 18 inches with a 2-inch extender chain. So you have the capability of making it up to 20 inches. And that's what that is right there. That's your 2-inch extender chain. And it can be up, 18 to 20. So if you want a 19-inch, you have the capability. Now, if you bought one of our extenders, which we have on our website, you could actually extend this another 4 inches. So you're talking about getting something a lot longer. If you want a longer piece, you have the capability to do this. Now, this is all solid sterling silver. It has 15.30 carats of just stone alone in that beautiful motif. I love how, and I'm going to put this up closer to the camera. So if you look at this piece, it sort of looks like little teeny flowers. And what they've done is they've taken a flower and they've alternated with, I'm going to call it a seed, a little pod. So when you're dealing with jewelry designs that are inspired or made by Native Americans, everything that a lot of the stamps, the stamping, a lot of the design, all goes back to nature. Remember, it was, they roamed the plains. It was a hard time then. Everything was just survival mode. It was not luxury accommodations, and everything that they came upon in nature, they used. Now think about like the buffalo, right? They ate the buffalo. They used the skins for warmth, blankets. They used the skins to make teepees that they lived in. All the fauna and all the medical stuff that they used was herbs and twigs from nature. So that's why when you're looking at Native American jewelry, a lot of times it has a lot of, birds, eagles, flowers, feathers, things that were very prominent in that culture. And then turquoise, way back then, was used as basically it was a trading currency. Like we use coins now. Well, they didn't have coins then. But what they did have was turquoise. And you know what? People roaming, going across from the east to the west coast. Now think about that. People are from England, right? In the early, I don't know what year. I'm not even going to speculate because I'll get it wrong. But they came over. Christopher Columbus was, 1492? They came over. They landed in Plymouth Rock on the east coast. And then, think about the amount of ships. I mean, there was hundreds of thousands of ships. We live in a world, we forget about that. There was no cars before. Everything was done through shipping. That was your trade, your roads. So all these ships on the East Coast landed, and then an abundance of people. So what happened is they cut down all the trees, and they created little communities, right? If you look at New England, and you look at it demographically from up in the air, there's no trees because we migrated over. We needed that to build places for us to live. And as they migrated across and spread out, there's different pockets of different nationalities all over the United States. I just came from Fredericksburg. It's German-based, Germantown. So there's different pockets of all different nationalities that lived here, secured their grassy knoll. And what happened was they encountered Native Americans. Well, Native people from England had never seen turquoise. Never. It was never available. It was not a prominent stone that they had ever seen before. Didn't come from any ruby mines, didn't come from Africa, China. So when they saw turquoise, they were very interested. So it became a trading currency. So a lot of people, that's what they did. So a lot of turquoise started to filter into mainstream. People started having turquoise nuggets. I mean, they literally they're a rock out of nature. So some of them actually look like a nugget. The uncut ones do. So interesting how that became a type of currency. And then through the years, people just admired turquoise because of the beauty of it, the color of it. It's so interesting. It's a stone that exhibits, different colors, different matrix, different patterns. Every single one looks like a piece of art. It's entirely different. Some are solid blue, like a robin's egg. Some look like a Picasso painting. If you heard spiderweb turquoise, has a lot of veining through it. Very interesting. And every piece is going to have different veining. So when they make necklaces that are considered squash blossom, this could be all spider veining. And it would be so interesting, but it would be predominantly, basically all the same color in this one necklace. So when we're talking about blue moon, that comes specifically from one mine, and we're putting it in the pieces that I'm showing you today. But it does play well in the sandbox with any other turquoise or white buffalo that you want to wear. That's the thing about turquoise. Don't be stuck on the color. Don't be matchy-matchy. All right. It's meant to be more boho chic, more non-matchy-matchy. And sometimes we have to, as adults, get out of that realm. You know, styles change through my lifetime, especially. I hope yours too. So don't think matchy-matchy is exactly how we have to go. Okay, so on this particular pendant, like I said, this is a combination of two entirely different styles. This is going to be Shop 2. This is going to be your price at Shop LC, $374.99. After the 25% off with the live 25, you're going to pay $281. $281. Now remember, sterling silver was at $115 a couple of weeks ago. Whoever would have thought that? $115 for sterling silver. If that wasn't a heart attacker, you know, I mean, I knew gold was going to go up. I never thought silver would go up that quickly, and that's in less than a year. So this was manufactured well over a year ago. So your pricing is yesterday pricing, which means that if this was manufactured today, it is going to be expensive. More, I'm going to say at least $100 more expensive because of the silver content. So these are pieces from yesteryear. I have a bit of quantity, so if you want to grab this, put it in the shopping cart. Where it says, write a comment, you put in Shop 2, hit the arrow. It'll bring you to the page, the closing page, and then in the promo, you type Live 25, and you'll get 25% off. Now, if that's too difficult, and you're a non-person that doesn't want to be techno, you just call up Personal Shopper. That's going to be the easiest way out. And a lot of times, you know what? Believe it or not, I know you're holding on. They actually answer the phone. Right? It's not an automated loopy, 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 loopy. How refreshing is that? That when you call our Personal Shopper, they actually pick up. And it's not a robocall. It is a person that does not go from department to department. And what's going to happen? You're going to say, I love that necklace. They're going to say 30-day money back guaranteed. You want to put it on budget pay. You're going to go, how much is that going to cost me? And then you're going to go, what else you got? So don't be surprised when that Personal Shopper is over the top friendly, because that's how they roll here at Shop LC. All right, that is going to be Shop 2. That is a great piece. Really, really, if you're starting turquoise and this is affordable for you, start with the best first. Because you know what? You start with little, you're always going to want better, better, better. You start with the Mac Daddy piece right away. You got that covered. All the rest of it is like butter on the toast. Easy and accessible. But that is a fabulous piece at that price. Up, commercial break. Hold on. I need some music. Da, 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 da. Okay. Now, we're going to move fast because I got some rings I'm going to show you. The first one is this one I'm wearing right here on my pinky. Now, I normally wear an 8 on this finger. So some of the rings don't fit me properly. But when I came in, I was pleasantly surprised because I said, well, I sort of like this one on my pinky, actually. It's a little too small for me for a ring finger. I like big and bold, folks. You know that. I like knuckle to knuckle. I like in your face. This could be a disc the size of my hand, and I'd be even happier. But I am not the one wearing this ring. A lot of people don't want a ring that size. A lot of people want something this size, which I would wear as a pinky ring. Now, most people would wear it on this finger. Unfortunately, like I said, it does not fit me, so ignore that. So this is what I mean by poundage. Now, look at how nice that looks, right? Let's get the bracelet in there. Come on, right? Womp. Let's tuck the hair back. Look at. Now, I can add some beads, another necklace, another turquoise bracelet. Really, really poundage it up. And I love turquoise because, first of all, we set it in sterling silver. We still use sterling silver. We do have a couple of lines that we don't use sterling, the Evertrue, but this is particularly sterling silver, and you want it set in sterling. You really do. And you want it also to have areas that are blackened. That's really important. In this particular line, and also the same with the Bali Legacy line, it is not meant to be shiny, shiny white silver. Some jewelry is. This is definitely not that particular stuff. And if you wanted that, I would never ever say take that blackened. It's not tarnished. This is specifically done with a chemical process called liver of sulfur. And as a jeweler, what happens when we do that? We do that for a reason. So these rings, you see all that texture? See all that texture? If this was very, very shiny silver and in those little crevices was not black, you would never see all that texture. It would just, you wouldn't see it. That shine would just cover everything. So it's specifically blackened like that for a reason. So don't remove that and think it's tarnished. That is there for a purpose. That's what gives turquoise that look. That's what we want. And that's what you want. You really want something that shows up all those little patterns and all those little cool stamping. Okay, so this ring, boom, boom, on my pinky, right? Our price, hold on, folks, because I know you're gonna love this one. This is shop 3. Our price, $94.99. Steal deal. Hello. After your 25% off, 70. I'm gonna turn it right here. $71. $71.24. Had to add the 24 cents. Better than my 2 cents. So $71.24. This ring can be yours, and no matter what size, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's all the same price. More silver, all the same price. Doesn't matter. This can be sized at a local jeweler. Don't know why you'd size it because I have all your sizes, but just in case, maybe you need a 12. It can be sized up to a 12. Okay, so that is going to be the first ring of my show today, my presentation. Now, I'm hoping that whoever you are out there, I don't know your names. I see some of my friends are tuning in. Xylie's watching. Tony's watching. And Becky on this phone. I don't know who's watching. But I can tell you that I'm making it affordable for you to literally have a whole collection. And I mean collection, earrings, necklace, bracelet, rings, for under a couple of $100 if you want to put everything on budget pay. And that's what you're going to do. Interest free. It's going to work out, and you are going to be rocking that turquoise. All right, next I'm going to go into some ear bling. Look at these. Lovely, lovely. All right, so these, once again, look at that texture on these earrings. It almost looks like, let me look at this. I'm going to spin it around, look at it. It looks like a butterfly on the bottom. To me, it looks like a butterfly. But that is just, like I said, that's what they do. They texture these. And when you pull these up online, these are going to be number 8435377. That's the code number. And the reason I'm giving you the code number is these are going to be shop 4. But if you really want to see a video and how these look on somebody, you can click in that specific number I just said, and that will actually have one of our models wearing these earrings, and it zooms in on the texture and stuff. Because here, me moving it around, they're dangling, they're like moving around. I don't want you to get seasick. It's not my fault. So I'm trying to give you like a little view and a little heads up. If you really love these, go to the website and really check them out because they're absolutely stunning. Now, I love an earring that has a dangle. Occasionally, maybe once or twice a year, I'll wear a stud, a big old moissanite or a big lab-grown diamond, something giant that shows up. But I don't want diamond because I don't want to spend all that money. I don't want to spend all the money on the diamond. But a dangle gives that look, no matter where I'm at. All right, I'm going to put this up to my ear. So as you walk, right, you see movement. You see movement. It's almost like when you're in a room and you see something out of the corner of your eye and you're like, ooh, I saw something. What is that? That's what earrings do. When you walk, it shows movement, and people are attracted to movement. So they're going to first and foremost look at that face, look at your smile, and then look at these earrings that frame your face. And that's why people wear earrings, because the bigger the earring, the larger the frame, right? Big hoops like this, shoulder dusters, they are noticeable immediately. Little teeny studs, maybe if you turn your head and it's a sparkly moissanite or diamond, then the light hits it, your hair's not in the way, yes, it's going to be seen. But earrings that are dangle are specifically designed for movement, and that's very, very important in the jewelry world, because you want to be seen. If you're spending money on jewelry, hello, welcome to the world of, I'm wearing it for a reason, right? Okay, our price on these, $174.99. Now these out in the real world, about $1,000. You go into a gift store in Albuquerque, about $1,000. Our price, $174.99. After the 25% live 25 code, brings us down to $131.24. $131.24, that's your final price. That is, folks, 30-day money back guarantee. No worries. You don't like it? Ship it right back to us. We're not going to ask for you to fill out a form. We don't charge a restocking fee, all that nonsense that most other places deal with. We just take it back and go, geez, we hope you like something else in our line, because we have a whole lot of stuff. Okay. So this is going to be shop number 5. Shop number 5. And this pendante.
No, it's 4. It's 4.
Oh, this is 4. Shop number 4. This pendante actually matches those beautiful earrings. Now, I'm going to hold this up and I'm going to flip it over to show you. So actually you can see that little bit of, I'm going to call it, it's sort of filigree work, but you know, the representation of what this is can be determined by what you see. I said it looks like little butterfly wings, but you know, now I look at it again, it almost looks like it has an angel body. And you look at it again and it, you know, it's something that is abstract. And when you design a piece of jewelry that has any type of something that's abstract, that is determined by the person that is looking at the piece, what they see. That's why it's called abstract, right? Okay, when you look at this is a very interesting veil, which I really love, because when you flip it over, it has almost like a double arm. So you have 2 pieces, right? 2 pieces on the back. Now the reason being for that is because they want this pendant to stay in the center of the chain. They also don't want it to flip over. So when you have that pendant that just doesn't go through a top bail, it goes through the piece, it prevents. Now you can see I'm moving this around. This is me walking. Just pretend I'm walking. I'm doing my steps. Oh, 1800. Got to stop. That pendant did not flip over. Some pendants would be like that. They flip over on you. So this is designed, and just that jiggling put it right back into the position it's supposed to be in. So that's a technique, and that's a design feature that Shop LC. Our design team here, we have 9,000 employees, but our design team are on the cutting edge of everything that is fashion, the best jewelry. Designs I have seen in forever. And I really mean that. They come up with, that's one of them. The stabilizer in the ear. I mean, just one thing after the other that makes these goods and these collectible items 100% worthy of what you're going to pay. And what you're paying is well below what most people are paying out there in the world. So you're getting really, really high quality goods. These are sterling silver. I mean, $101. That's your price. Oh, did I tell you that already? I just spilled. Just let it tweak out. $101. And it's pretty good size. I'm going to say, I don't have a coin with me. Okay. But roughly, it's about a full inch in length. And this is something that, this does not come with the chain. You can put your favorite chain through it. And that's another feature. That little area that chain goes through is large enough to fit a thicker chain than this. So you don't have to put a little skinny chain. If you want to put a thicker chain, you have that capability. So $101. This is going to be shop 5. This piece matches those earrings. So if you want to grab that as a set, do it now. because that 25% off is only here at the live stream. Okay, we're going to move on to a beautiful ring now. That's a double stone, and I have that right here on my ring finger. DJ, can you lower the temperature?
Gotcha.
So this particular now is going to be shop number 6.
Yes.
And shop 6, this is a blue moon turquoise once again, 4 1/4 carat. It's in sterling silver. Now I wear an 8 on this finger always. I put on a 7. It's a little tight, but the reason I got it on, the front is knuckle to knuckle, but the back side, you can see that the back side is not a giant thick band like this. So when you're buying jewelry, if it's a thick band like this, you need to go up a size normally because it'll be too tight. That skin right here, I can't use the word FAT. It sounds negative. But when you gain weight everywhere, even on your fingers. So when you lose weight, have you ever noticed your rings get a little looser? Maybe you cut out the salt too. Your rings get a little looser. But if you're buying rings, any standard ring, no matter what, if you're dealing with a band that's thick like this or thicker, you definitely needs to go up a size. So that's how I was able to get this 7 on my 8 finger, because this part is thick, this part is thin, so I can work it over the knuckle. The skin has places to go. All right, so this fits me as a 7. Now, if you're an 8 and you want a snug ring, it's not snug enough that it's painful at all. I can move it around. I just like something a little bit looser for myself. And I do go up and down in weight. So an 8 is my standard, but if you want something a little tighter, you're going to go with a 7. Now, these stones are bezel set, and I love that beautiful different, how they put one east to west and one north to south, right? Now, you can wear this with the pear shape going down to send that energy out. You can flip it around and wear it in that pear shape inward to bring that energy in. But this is a beautiful ring to add to that collection. So this is going to start that collection once again. Okay, our price on this this is shop 6, $174.99 is the price out there. Our price today, $131.25. So $131.25. That's going to be your final price after the 25% off. Once again, this is called Blue Moon Turquoise. This is mined out of Nevada. So grab that while you can, and we're going to move on to a bigger ring. So if you want something a little bit more blingy, hold on one second. If you want something a little bit more blingy that matches this, right? Boom, boom. I brought in some pieces so we call this a suite. Now, if there was earrings and a bracelet, it would be sweet because you get all 4 pieces and you can collaborate and make that full ensemble, or in Italy and other places they call it a suite. This is going to be your mixture. And I was trying, this one will not go over my knuckle. It is a little bit heavier gauge sterling silver. And I can get it, so I'm going to put it on my ring finger. Let me just show you what it looks like, because I like you to see the whole. Okay, so this I got on my finger. And I have lost a little bit of weight, so these do fit now. But if you look at this, it's a little bit larger. It's almost like an octagon-shaped stone, which is unusual. Most of your turquoise is always cut in ovals, pear shapes, marquise. Very rarely do you see an octagon shape. Now, what's interesting about this, too, if you look at the octagon shape around the perimeter, right, of the whole stone, this is not your typical bezel. It almost looks like, DJ, can you pull up the ring I have on the back screen? So these look like teeth, right, on that particular bezel setting. This is the ring I just showed you. And you can see the extra little features that I'm talking about. Now, these could be interpreted as a flower, a seed pod, something from the Native American culture. And then on this one, the one I'm wearing has, DJ,
give it a second. Take a second.
Technical difficulties. You know, the computers sometimes, they're a little slow. My phone was spinny today for a long time. Okay, this is the ring that that I have on right now. And I want to show you. So if you look at this, do you remember the old picket fences, right? It almost looks like picket fences, but these are basically a bezel prong. These are going to hold this stone in now. These are not going to catch anything. We have that magnified quite a lot. It's magnified way past a 10 loop. Now you can look, this is a little bit of like almost like a fern or a leaf. And then you have over here a flower and then the same little fern pattern. Now you can't see because it's magnified so much, but this is white buffalo and this is white buffalo. So now I'm going to put it up to the camera very close so you can see what I'm talking about. So those accent stones are actually white buffalo. But what's interesting, when they manufacture a ring like this, those little teeth, it's smooth to the touch. Why? Because it's actually a bezel. And then they've sawed off they've taken out little triangle pieces. And they've created this pattern. This stone is not going to ever fall out of that ring. I'm going to tell you right now, this ring, if you are hard on jewelry, you need bezel set stuff. You really do. Bezel set that has extra bling and features, no matter what it is. I am extremely hard on jewelry. I love bezel setting because stones don't fall out. You catch a prong on a diamond, you know, I'm sure we have an audience out there with 85 million viewers. A lot of people out there have surely lost stones out of rings because the prong is broken. When you're dealing with bezel setting, and that is most of your Native American, whether it's Southwestern inspired, actual Native American, it is all bezel set. And then they texture those bezels. Sometimes they put a little rope feature on it. Sometimes they cut them up and make them look like little fences like this. But this is going to be shop number 8. Now, I love this ring because it's a little bit larger. It's not too large, though. This is a great ring for anybody that wants a nice Southwestern look to start with a ring like this. $174.99, that's Shop LC's starting price. 25% off brings us down to $131.24. $131.24, and that is it on shop number 8. Now I'm going to move on to my next item is going to be another pendant. And this one's interesting because it is a different variations of stones. So this particular it almost looks like a little fan. It could be interpreted as a wing. It could be interpreted as a seashell. Now, years ago, remember too, our continent, United States, there are some places, especially when you get to the Midwest, that had water. I mean, the mountains were the peaks, but fully submerged underwater. So a lot of fossils, a lot of marine life, like shells, are found throughout the Midwest. And people are like, shells? It's not near a beach that used to be underwater. So a lot of crustaceans, your ammonites, your seashells, a lot of stuff like that is still found in the Midwest because, like I said, it was all underwater at one point. So this could be a representation of a seashell. Now remember, the Native Americans roamed the plains here, and they roamed the plains after the water was gone, millions of years later after the dinosaurs disappeared. So they found seashells. Once again, they used it for tools, for scraping hides, for grinding down, for calcium, for medicinal purposes. They used herbs and stuff that they found in the ground, and that's how they lived. There was not medications then. So very much inspired. Like I said, a lot of the jewelry has things that you would find in nature in that culture. So I'm going to say that's a seashell. That's my interpretation. And then you have this beautiful, almost like a flower pattern that's surrounding. And once again, this is bezel set, but it's a textured bezel. The same thing with the oval stone, both textured bezels. You have a beautiful textured bail. This does not come with the chain, so be prepared. If you have a stainless steel chain that we've given you for free, if you're one of our Shop LC guests and you buy a lot of stuff, a lot of times stuff that is included, like chains with stainless steel, so you can pop a chain on this easily maybe you have a chain already at home that you can put on this. But fabulous piece, $174.99. Your price on this after the 25%, $131.24, and this is going to be shop number 9, 131.24. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the piece that I am wearing. And this is your traditional and your very, very traditional squash blossom necklace. This particular symbol in the center was usually worn by the head of the tribe. They were highly decorated, whether it was adornments in their headgear, jewelry that they wore on their vests, bracelets that they wore. So like I said, accessorizing, think about that. When I talk about accessorizing through the different histories and cultures, people, even Native Americans, remember porcupine quill, they put all on their breastplates, porcupine quill and beads, shells, things that they found in nature to adorn those animal skins that they were wearing. When they had abundance and they came across another tribe, hopefully they didn't kill them all, but there was turf then. It was like gangs here. You could cross the turf, stuff's going to go down. But they did trading with people from other, people that were crossing the plains. Obviously, they had never seen wagons, a lot of stuff, pots and pans that were metal. So they actually started trading because they wanted stuff like that. And, we had guns and whatever. But through history, adornment has always been part of our cultures. No matter what culture you're from, we have always adorned ourselves with pieces of beauty, things that adorn outfits, colors, stuff like that. And it's important. And if you can buy it and adorn yourself for a fraction of the price and you are a collector, I'm glad you're here. Okay, so we're going to get into this beautiful squash blossom. So this little baby, now let's talk about this because there's an alternating stone. So you have your white buffalo and you have your blue moon turquoise on a beaded sterling silver necklace, complete sterling silver. Underside of this is open a little bit to show off the array of stones here. This is going to be $534.99. After your 25% off, it is going to bring it down to $401. $400. Solid sterling silver. I'm going to see if I can take this off. Now, I have nails, so little difficulties sometimes removing jewelry, but I'll give it my best. Let's see if I can do it. I usually try to do it without looking at it. I have better luck, actually. There we go. So I've taken it off. Now, I'm going to show you. These are all 5mm sterling silver beads, and you can see the stones are cut into marquee shape. You have that little dangle in the center here, and once again, you have a little extender. So you have a 2-inch extender right here. So this can be either 18 or 20 inch. This is a piece, like I said, look at how beautiful that looks. If you want to start with either that, I'm going to call it the Y necklace or the squash blossom, this is a piece that you really, really, this is the piece de resistance. This is when you know that you have pieces that are statement worthy, that are expensive, that are people dream about having. And you can have that for $400. And if you call our personal shopper, I'm sure you can put this on budget pay. But look at that. With this whole turquoise, this is coming up if you like the bracelet. And this men's ring is coming up, oops, also. So either one of those pieces, just stay tuned because I am airing both those pieces today. But look at how beautiful this is. It has a lot of weight to it. It's all sterling silver. Cable link chain, really, really strong chain. But you put this in a nice little jewelry pouch. It fits nicely in your jewelry box. You don't have to worry about it laying and taking up a lot of space. It is compact. It's foldable. It is, 100% wearable with any of your other colored turquoise. Sleeping Beauty, Royston, it doesn't not matter. This is a piece that you can wear with a lot of different turquoise. Okay, so that's going to be the squash blossom. And then we're going to move on to our single pendant, which is right here. And I have a matching ring for this. So if you like this, this is more on the simple side, right? This would be something that for a person that really doesn't want to, totally wear a ton of poundage, but a person who loves turquoise. We all love turquoise, right? It's a beautiful stone. It has great color. So this is going to be for that person that likes something or maybe you want this as the layering piece. Maybe this you want to wear way up here, right? On it like almost like a choker collar, and then add a strand of beads. Or you want to put this on a long 30-inch chain so it hangs way down here. And you want to add a shorter pendant up here, right? You have the capability to do that. A piece like this is 100% versatile. I like this, I have earrings I have earrings and I have a ring to match. So we have almost the complete suite here for you. No bracelet. You need the other bracelet that I aired earlier. But look at how beautiful this is. And it's well made. So I'm going to show you, and we're going to go up close. Up here, in the very, very top of that bail, there's a little spiral, a little teeny spiral motif, right? That is just extra. I'm not going to charge you for that. That's the spiral of life. That's what we do. We just, continue to grow and get larger and larger. I don't mean size-wise, all right? Don't send me a text and say, oh, that was funny. But we grow. In life, it's a spiral. It's like a labyrinth. We walk it, we grow, we change throughout our entire life. This is a symbol of that. So not everything is, a symbol of nature. Some of the other symbols could be the earth, the sun, stuff like that. They used incredible little symbolism in everything they made. Now, I love this piece because when you turn it on its side, not only do you see the craftsmanship on that crazy bezel I was talking about, but this has circles, spirals. Oh, it is so intricate. It is. I mean, look at the side of that. Look at that. That is insane. That beautiful little art. And I'm talking about right here, right under the bezel, along the base. That is craftsmanship at its best. Okay, on this particular piece, does not come with the chain. You get just the piece alone. This is going to be our price here at Shop LC. This is going to be Shop 11. Would be $134.99. Your price after the 25% off brings it down to $101.24. $100 out the door can be yours. Beautiful Southwestern inspired necklace. And I'm going to move on now to shop number 12. Shop number 12 is going to be the earrings that match that necklace. Now, I also said I like stuff that has a little bit of movement. So look at these. I love the movement in these. Now, once again, these have that beautiful spiral right up here. You see that spiral motif on the top. These have those beautiful large disc backs. So these are going to lay taut on that earlobe and stay in place. The top is going to stay in place. But the bottom is going to be that movement. That's what you're going to see when you're walking around. You're going to see that movement in particular. So that is something that is very well designed, because for people that don't want, if you have been wearing earrings for many years and your earlobe is a little stretched and you have holes that are a little bit larger than you'd like, when you're dealing with something like this, it hides all that. And that back, this disc back, keeps that straight on your earlobe. It doesn't tilt down. It keeps it really nice and straight. So if you're one of those people that wore heavy earrings your whole life and you have those elongated stretch holes that you want to hide a little bit, this is going to be an earring that's great for that. Okay, this is going to be shop number 13. Our price on this, $134.99. After the 25% off, comes down to, is that the right price, DJ?
Yeah, because it's the same price.
$101.24. $101.24. Right, that's going to be your final price, and that is shop number 13. Okay, we're moving on to the men's ring that I have on. So I love this because, like I said, very rarely do you see pieces like this. It is Absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to give you a little 3D tour. I'm going to do it both cameras. So this is the side. You can see that it's very textured. Once again, bezel set. You have that beautiful, almost like Southwestern chevron, vertical stripe down the side. It's slightly blackened. That will change over time and get a little bit more deeper black that shows you that pattern even better. The blue moon on this, it has a little bit of pattern on the stone itself. Now remember, every single stone is going to be entirely different. They're all going to have a little bit of matrix pattern, but you're not going to get this particular ring. This is my sample. So if you go, oh, I love that. That reminds me of, and you won't get this ring. They'll all have a similar pattern or matrix little, structure patterns, little designs, little Picassos of their own. But this particular ring, I mean, it is solid. The undercarriage on this is open, all right? But the texture, it's got a semi-skinny band on the back. Strong. You cannot bend this, folks. This is solid as it comes. Now, for a gent's ring like this is $1,000 ring. If you went out to the Midwest, to Albuquerque, this would be $1,000, and you'd be like, honey, I'm buying it for you. It's our anniversary. Here at Shop LC, this is shop number 14. This isn't $1,000. This is $199. But after the 25% off, my friends, my family, my JM people out there, $149. $149. Bam! That is super inexpensive for such a beautiful, fine piece of jewelry. $149.99. And it can be yours. Okay, that's it. $149.99. Shop number 14. We are moving on to now. Okay, I wear this every day. This is my signature cuff. I made it, 20 years ago, I guess. I wear it every day. I mix and match it with other jewelry. I put some little gold pieces on this because I wanted to make sure that I could wear it if I was wearing gold that day. I'm in the process, like I said earlier, if you're watching me for the last hour and 10 minutes, that I will be doing a Shop LC video on YouTube about smelting gold. So I'm going to take 80 grams, which is almost 3 ounces, and I'm going to show you what I'm melting. I'm going to put it on the scale, and I'm going to melt it all down into a bar, and I'm going to make a cuff for this side. So that's going to be a project, but that will all be filmed with Shop LC, and I'll keep you in tune when it's available on the YouTube side. But let's get back to turquoise. Okay, bam. Look, hello. Hi, Noelle. Thank you, Noelle. I appreciate that. Noelle said Cheryl Briggs is rocking that turquoise. So look at this bracelet. Bam. It is like that sun motif. Now, remember, in the Native American culture, everything that they grew and they ate was grown in the sun. And if the sun cycles were off, their crops were off. And that was all part of their migration. Every single thing, every symbol on a piece of jewelry was extremely important. And we love the sun here, but, we mass produce food now. Not very important to us. I go see sunshine. I fly to Florida. But if I was relying on that and you had a month of rain, what happens to your crops? Everything is slowed down. So when you have to leave that freezing plains that are starting to have winter come in and migrate somewhere else, but your food, you can't pick it all, whatever. The sun became such a prominent, the sun and the moon. They followed it to navigate the stars. I mean, it's been part of the planetary systems have been so important for our whole life and many, many generations before us. It predicts everything. I just said today is the start of the Lunar New Year, and that's started from the moon, that lunar calendar. Very, very important. Not so much for us now in modern civilization, other than celebratory times, but many, many years ago, that was what they relied on for everything. We just take it as a 15-day party. That's how we look at it. But years ago, it wasn't no party. It was very, very important. So when we celebrate these different symbols, that's what a good designer does. We pick out pieces of history, pieces of nature, pieces of remnants from the past that are important and were prominent in other jewelry lines or clothing or, motifs, canvases, paintings, petroglyph, hieroglyphs. And we take that, and that is the inspiration for when we're designing jewelry. This particular line, obviously, the sun was a particular symbol of super importance. And I love this one because it also has a couple of cactus. Now I just got, and these are saguaro cactus, in case you didn't know. Saguaro are the ones that have the arms that go up. And believe it or not, they are only found in, or nature, naturally found. Now, don't correct me and say they're found in other places. Naturally found in Arizona. And you can go to Saguaro National Park and see thousands of them. It really is mind-blowing. Until you get there, you don't understand the magnitude of, there's no trees, but there's cactus that are large, very, very large. They hold water. Cactus are extremely interesting. When cactus actually die, the skeleton structure of the cactus is a wood. Most people think cactus are succulent, but when they rot, that skeleton structure actually has wood, fibrous, really strong wood that people use for teepees. So the cactus symbol, once again, super prominent in Native American culture. Hey, Quinny, everybody's tuning in tonight. So super prominent in Native American culture. So as they went through the plains, these cactus they saw, not only could they tap into them and get jelly from the buds, so it was a food source, also some of the jelly inners were almost like a salve that they could use to prevent, stings, cuts. It's an antibacterial. That's what I'd call it these days. I don't know what they called it then, other than miracle. And then once these rotted, they could actually harvest the wood and burn it, make it into things they could drag behind as, almost like a carriage without wheels. But very, very important how every one of these symbols was so prominent. On this bracelet, not only do they have the cactus, but they have the dragonfly, another important insect in life. Now, I didn't design this bracelet. I'm going to give you a fact. As a beekeeper, dragonflies catch and kill bees and eat them. So, when I was living in Florida and we have the dragonflies that come out seasonally, and there's a whole lot of them, I'm always worried my bees are getting eaten. And dragonflies do eat bees. So, just a little factoid out there. But just like anything else, it's the circle of life. Something has to eat something. So better be a pretty dragonfly than something much more ugly. But very, very important. So the symbolic nature and the sign of dragonflies, what does that symbolize? Spring, rebirth, renewal, energy, speed, flight, transition. So, motifs like that, like I said, super, super important. Now, this bracelet, I'm going to say right off the bat, best buy of the entire show. So when I say that, I hope you're listening out there. When I say best buy of the entire show, look at the size of it. Now, my cuff is pretty darn large. Look at the size of that. Excuse me.
What?
This is going to be 8.25 carat. Solid sterling silver. Texture. Now I'm going to show you. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to give it a gentle tug. When you buy pieces like this, right? Now, I just pulled it off. Now, you take a gentle tug. Do you see that? I didn't push it really fast. Sterling silver is very malleable, which means that it can move. Those molecules move, and it can be moved back and forth many, many times. But you got to be careful with it. You can't do it quick, all right? It has to be a slow, we call it a gentle hug. Put it on. So now this particular bracelet is going to fit any wrist size. That's what's special about it. If you have a 5, 6, 7, 7 1/4, 8 or 9-inch wrist, I get you covered. 100%. Look at the size of this particular area here. That's going to cover a lot of that beautiful arm. This is arm candy at its best. This isn't, I'm going to show you the difference. Just to give you a little bit of, this was the beautiful bracelet. Look at the cuff. All right? This is for some people. This is for Cheryl. This is for some people. This is for Cheryl. I like large. This is for the people out there that like movement, that like something a little bit smaller. This is for the person that wants a lot of sterling silver and a great value. Now, when I flip this over, I want to show you what they've done. They've left this completely satin finished, right? Beautiful, smooth and silky satin finished right here. So in case any light does need to go through that stone, it can go through. What have they done too? They've rolled all these edges. So when you feel this, it's almost like a bezel setting. Very smooth. Why did they do that? It gives this very, very strong structure. So if they didn't add this extra silver, this wouldn't be as structurally strong as it is. And why do we do that? We want to give you something that's not going to break. I don't want to send you something. We are a shopping network that's on 24/7. This is the live stream portion. If I sell you goods that you put on 3 or 4 times and they break, you're going to send it back. You're going to get your money back. That's going to cost me money, not only to sell you, but to have it sent back. And then what's going to happen? You're going to give me a 1-star review. And then you're going to tell everybody, that jewelry stinks. We don't do that here. We put 100% into it up front so that we don't have problems in the future. And that's what good companies do. They put all that product out up front. They tell you exactly what it is, the weight, the dimensions, the carat weight, the 30-day money-back guarantee. We are a company that everything that we do is manufactured in-house. That's how we keep the prices low. All right, so now I'm going to show you. So this is the size of this. Now watch me put it on. I open it up just slightly, right? Slide it over. Now I'm going to give this, now I've opened it up pretty big, right? I'm going to give this what I call a gentle hug. Press very slowly. There you go. Now I can make this as tight as I want. I can make it much, much tighter. I made it more, so I still have, look at how much space, and I can open this up. So this could fit anybody 9-inch and up. This is 100% unisex. So if you are a guy looking for a little wrist candy and you're into the turquoise, bam. If you're a woman like me who likes a little bit on the larger size, bam, we got you covered here. Now, I said this is the best price, the best price for the entire show. Our price on this, and I have 28. That is it. 28 in the world. So I have 85 million viewers, and my friends over there, 28 total. $202. That's Shop LC's price. $202. Right? That's not it. I'm not done. I'm taking 25% off. 151, folks. 150 buckaroonies. 150 bucks. Low profile, bezel set with that killer textured bezel, adjustable, solid sterling silver, 151. $151. Best steal deal of the show. 151. That is a really, really phenomenal sale. Don't let that one get away because, boy, you'll regret that for sure. Okay, so that's it on all the turquoise. And now I'm going to move on to some really cool beaded necklaces. And I'm going to tell you all about, a little bit about beaded necklaces, why people love them, Why wouldn't you? It's a gemstone. All right, so I'm going to start off. Let me get organized here right away. Boom, boom. Okay. Let's start off with something that is super cool and groovy. This is, my friends, is pink kunzite. Look at that. Oh, does that just makes your heart sing. Doesn't that make your heart sing? Now, kunzite was discovered in 1902. That's not a long time ago. That's like one person ago, right? That's like my mom ago. 1902. That's not, a lot of gemstones have been in the market for thousands of years. Kunzite was discovered by George Kunz, who worked for Tiffany. So he discovered this stone, and he was the gemologist for Tiffany and Company. Now, we all know who Tiffany and Company is, right? Please tell me you do. Tiffany and Company in the 1900s, that was it. Jewelers. Tiffany was the everything. Best stones, and Tiffany sent out people, gemologists, to discover new stones. Of course they did. They were a smart business. That's why they're still in existence today. That's why Shop LC sends out their posse to Denver, to Tucson. Why? Because we don't want to sell you the same gemstone 24/7 over and over. You'd get completely bored. It'd be like me selling you just turquoise for every day, 24 hours a day, for 365 days a year. You'd probably tune out at some point. We send out people because we want to look for stones that are unique, rare finds, that we can negotiate prices, that are almost or specifically will be mined out in a period of time. We also seek out stones that are very plentiful. But what we want is the best quality. So our teams go out there, not my team, Shop LC's team, and they go out there and they scour every show for all those boxes that need to be checked. And we do it. And that's how we're able to bring you new cutting turquoisite, new alexandrite from Turkey. I mean, it just goes on and on about the new stones that are out there. Now, if you didn't watch Shop LC and you heard alexandrite, you knew anything about jewelry, you'd be like, oh yeah, there's none of that left in the world. Well, you're wrong, right? They've discovered 2 new places. So alexandrite now is back in the market. Now the quality is never ever going to compare to what came out of Russia. It is not as good, but it is color changing, and it is alexandrite. So we have discovered now pockets, but without going to Tucson and Denver and over to Europe, to China and England and Germany and all these great shows that Shop LC attends, we would not discover stones like that. So very, very important as a jewelry company to always keep on the cutting edge, and that's what Tiffany and Company has done and continues to do and did in the early 1900s. So this is an absolutely beautiful, massive 580 carat weight of beaded, individually knotted pink kunzite. Now, like I said, originally this was discovered up in California. Since then, it's been discovered in other places, Pakistan, mostly overseas, China, places like that. But what's interesting about kunzite, it has a shilling or shimmer effect on it. And I'm going to try to point it out I'm going to look at one bead and point it out. Might be really difficult to see. But right here on this bead, you'll see almost an iridescence, almost like a pink labradorite or a pink moonstone. So I'm going to call it a shiller, a shimmer, whatever you want to call it. It is darn beautiful. And kunzite of this color is of the rare estate. Kunzite can be found in colors up to like a white. It is kunzite, but to really put together gem quality, and this is gem quality, it's a small portion of kunzite that is mined. Most people, if you are not a knower of kunzite, it is because, once again, it is a rarer stone. Now, Shop LC has done this and strung it. They've actually done a graduated strand. So this one in the center, just by looking at it, I'm going to say this 22 millimeter. Way down here, 18 millimeter. Completely and fully graduated. Look at that. You can see the difference from the center right down to the smaller one on this end. Once again, lobster claw, oversized lobster claw. Once again, you have your extender chain, so you can start here if you want a smaller version. Maybe you want it choker style, right? Maybe you want it a little bit longer. You add that 2-inch extender, and then it comes down to a longer chain. Now, this is solid kunzite. They've also done and strung this on a beautiful, I'm going to say almost like a fuchsia silver thread. Now, that is super strong. I didn't mean silver thread. Silk thread. When they string even your best pearls, they are strung on silk. It is the strongest material to string beads, pearls, anything on. When they color coordinate the string with the stone, that's how you can tell it's really good quality. A lot of places that do inferior, this could be just white knots. You know, we don't want that. You want the best of the best. Now, the carat weight on this is extremely high. Like I said, 580 carats. Your price on this, and when I bought kunzite at the last show, I bought it by the gram weight. So you are going to get a killer deal on this because this is heavy. This is a heavy piece. You can also add a bracelet on the back. If you want to extend it and make it longer like that, look at that with this black top. I mean, really just makes that pop, you know, that color pink. And it's, you know, there's not a whole lot of pink in jewelry. Pink morganite, but as far as the only thing I can think of in this particular color might be a shell pearl necklace, a pearl that's treated to pink, maybe, yeah, that's about it. I can't think of any other stone that would even come close to looking like this. So your price on this is going to be shop number 16 and $267.99 after the 25% off. And this bad baby can be yours for $200. $200. Oh, and 99 cents. Now, you have the capability also to put this on budget pay. That would be an interest-free through Shop LC. You call our personal shopper, and they will set that all up for you. So no problem. And you know what? I forgot to mention this too. It is Tuesday. Everything is shipped free today. So no matter what you buy from Shop LC, it is free shipping here, which is fabulous because that's going to save you a rake of money too. If you buy multiple items and pay $2.99 per item, it adds up quickly. So free shipping on everything. Take advantage of that. Okay, we're going to now talk about really quickly. I'm going to move through because the rest of the stuff I have is beaded necklaces, and I have 25 minutes left to tell you. So the first one, this is multi, and this is done multi-lepidolite. This has one of my favorite things here, the magnetic clasp. Now, when you take these magnetic clasps, you don't pull on the chain like this. You actually twist this, crack it like an egg. Boom. What happens? You can see those round disc magnets. Now, I'm going to show you how strong this magnet capability is because these want to be together like lovers on Valentine's Day. Whoa. Do you see that? Now, when you put this on, I'm half blind without my glasses. I have fingernails now. Putting on lobster claws, spring rings, toggle clasps, I can do it because I'm well trained at it. But if you're not well trained and you try to put on a necklace and you're back there fumbling, what happens? You get so aggravated you don't even wear the necklace. This is what happens with magnetic clasps. I'm going to do it in the front so you can see this. Boom. I didn't even look. I was looking around. Then you just spin it around. You just spin it around. It's on. Now, I'm going to keep this on when I'm talking about it because I want to give you, I have a couple of more pieces. I have another piece of lepidolite. So I'm going to give you some information that I found very, very interesting in Tucson. So lepidolite is out of different regions of Africa. It could be Namibia, Tanzania, Nigeria, or Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is the #1 exporter of lepidolite. Lepidolite is the beautiful purple. It's also the green, right? But lepidolite contains lithium. Now, lithium has been known since many, many years to help control depression. When people are locked up, they give them lithium, right? And they used to give them a lot of lithium. I don't know, I'm sure it's a lot more regulated now. But holistically, lithium does the exact same thing. We say when we sell this, it helps the crazies. So if you are that type of person that maybe has bouts of depression through life, ups and downs, we all go through that. I don't want anybody to think they're alone. There are times in life when we're all sad, and you know what? A lot of times you deserve to be sad. It happens. Nobody has a perfect life. You could have all the money in the world and have stuff that happens that makes you sad. You could be poor, and have sad days too. Happens to the wealthy, happens to the poor. But what happens? Your brain sometimes needs lithium to regulate and get out of that depressive state. That is when we talk about getting away from the Debbie Downers, wearing protection like obsidian, because our world is filled with people that live on the negative. And that is a daily occurrence with every person that you come into contact with. It is hard to cross over to the land of happy. And when people are happy, what happens? People go, they're so happy. Why are they so happy all the time? Almost like a negative thing. Because it's a rarity to be able to calm those crazies down. And the crazies are all that stuff. Rent, I got to walk the dog, got to be on time for a job. My kids, what do they want for dinner? My husband, I got to get home. I'm stuck in traffic. I need gas. Oh my God, I broke my heel. What jewelry am I going to wear? Those are the crazies. I just give them to you. All at once. Your brain is thinking about 20 things at once. Years ago, when I grew up, we didn't have cell phones. We waited for the phone to ring. We didn't even have answering machines. When answering machines came about, I can remember driving home like a maniac to listen to my messages. Who called me? How exciting. I can make plans now. Now we carry computers in our hand and we are plugged in 24/7. And because of that, we are on call 24/7. Somebody needs us for something, different time zones, different family members, and all over different parts of the world, jobs, getting up, just everything. It's endless. And a lot of times when we say calming the crazies, lithium is one of the natural holistic things that people have, either in a palm stone or in a piece of jewelry. Okay, now I've given you all the facts of what lepidolite contains. Now I'm going to tell you the sad news. I have been selling lepidolite for over 25 years. I always look for the color. I go for the purple. That's the number one color that I sell. The African government, and especially different regions, has now put a ban on lepidolite being exported anywhere in the world because it contains lithium, which are used for AI and batteries. So the African government, Zimbabwe, put a ban in 2022, and then 2025 of June, they completely restricted it. You could get different colors, different sources through. They have completely obliviated. You could no longer get lepidolite out of Zimbabwe, which by the chance had the best quality. Also, Namibia, 2023, Tanzania, 2023, Nigeria, 2022. The government banned export of lepidolite on all those, and those were predominantly your suppliers for gem quality lepidolite. Now, I'm the first to tell you, but when you hear it on live TV and other places, be aware, it is not a rumor. It is actual truth. So I heard it from my dealer, and then I researched it because I wanted to make sure I was giving the proper facts. Now, this particular stone necklace I've had on for 5 minutes, and this is completely heated up to my body temperature. Now, obviously the back side of my neck here was a little warmer, right? This is, and that's what a stone necklace does. It transmits energy. That's why lepidolite, I say, is good for depression. Now, that magnetic clasp, bam, that is a game changer. The center stone on this is well over 24 millimeter. And these are strategically placed. If you look at the colors, those beautiful greens, the pinks, the purples, it is translucent in some places, opaque in other places. This is a beautiful stone. I love the variation in color, shapes, and sizes. Now, $134.99, that is your price. This is going to be shop. If I'm looking, I'm looking at the number, and my glasses have a glare on them. So this is going to be shop 17. After the 25% off, remember magnetic, crack it like an egg, bam. This is going to be $100. $101.24. That is your price on this beautiful lepidolite from different regions of Africa. Take advantage of that if you are a collector. I hope you heard me when I just said no more exporting of that particular stone, because that's going to be a game changer for people that are collectors and they say, I can't get that anymore. That was my favorite necklace. Was that right? Did I just do the wrong one, DJ?
No, you should have done the right one. The lepidolite, right?
Oh, I did the kunzite, and then I did. Okay, I did. I'm supposed to do the. Okay, so I'm going to skip. I'm going to skip over, and I'm going to do the. This says I have 3 lepidolite, and I see another one here too. All right, DJ, let's skip to the sunstone.
Oh yeah, the other one that's just in the same auction. That's what it is.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That's another option.
Okay, I don't even see. There's not a second one here for that. There's only one for that.
Yeah, that's why I didn't put it up there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we're going to skip that. Let's go to the sunstone, because that is something that is super interesting. And I'm going to start with a smaller sunstone necklace, and then I'm going to show you the difference in size, because I have 2 that we've brought in. And I'm going to tell you about sunstone because it is such an interesting stone. Once again, the pieces that I pulled to show you, most of them have that crazy almost shimmer or schiller. Now, sunstone is predominantly found overseas. This is found particularly in overseas. But I had a mind melt there. But what's interesting about sunstone, the most interesting fact about it is, and I'm going to pull out, so these are the 2 necklaces I have, right? So we have the baby, and then we have the Mac Daddy, right? So the baby is the one I'm featured on right now, but I'm going to put them side by side because I really want you to see the difference. So what sunstone contains, and I'm going to point to one bead again because I'm focused on a particular thing. So if you look at this particular bead, right? I'm going to sort of move it around if I can. I'm going to do it slowly. Move it around. These particular beads have a shimmer. Almost looks like glitter. I guess that's the way I can put it. It looks like glitter inside the stone. That is actually needles of hematite inside sunstone. That's what makes it so interesting, because it contains those needle-like features, give sunstone that sparkle like sunshine. I saw sunshine on a cloudy day. Okay, so you can see actually there's a good spot right there. If I'm going to move that, look at this bead here, and I'm going to move that around. I really hope you can see that. Look closely. Do I sound like a magician? Look closely and gaze into the ball. Look at those beads. So you can see the shimmer, right? That shimmer, the shilling. Those are needles, fine little hematite needles. So hematite is a silver stone. It's almost like a metal material. It has a lot of weight to it. So hematite in this particular sunstone, it has a double BOGO. because it contains that metal like that, that is a grounding material. When you put metals in with stone, what happens? Years ago, remember copper? Everybody had tennis elbow. What'd they wear? Copper bracelets. So if a stone contains a metal, it really is, or minerals, it's good for you to wear because you're topically and energetically getting those in your body without ingesting them in a pill. So very, very interesting. Sunstone is such a rare stone to find this particular color. I have sold sunstone off and on for about 25 years. It's not something that I carry on a regular basis because the quality usually is not good. This is really, really good quality. You know, obviously this strand is better quality and bigger. It's also individually knotted with beads than this. This is your starter sunstone. This is when you go, you know what? I have a big pendant I'm going to hang on this. I like the sunstone. I like the color. I want something that I can hang stuff or layer. This is more a standalone necklace, the next piece I bring up. So this is definitely for layering, for hanging a pendant on. Now, if you want to do something really cool and groovy, you can buy 2 of these of the same. And I'm going to mix it with just a lighter color just to show you the effect of what I'm talking about. So if you want to buy 2 of the sunstone beaded necklaces, that is going to be shop number 18. That is going to be our price, $101.24. After your discount, your 25%, it brings that beaded necklace down to $74. Now, I'm going to show you. So if you do buy 2, that'd be $150, right? So you take them and you just put the clasp together. You create your own. So I've taken both. Now, these are unmatched. Normally I would have 2 of the same. So you can't look at what I'm doing because one is entirely a lighter color. But with 2, watch what you can do. You take a safety pin, what do they call it? Paper clip. And so I've done, now you can see the extender chains are right here on both sides. I'm going to put this up and I'm going to actually take that safety pin and make a clasp. So now I have a graduated 2 strands, 2 different lengths, right? Now, because these are the same, let's say they're the same color because you're going to order 2, or you can wear it like this and you create a much longer chain. Now you can see the chain for the extenders, but when it's on stations like this and you put it side by side, now these are 2 different colors, so they have to be the same, all right? So if it was the same, what would this look like? It looks like a gold feature. It does not look like a chain extender because what you've done is you've paralleled these east and west and you've matched them. So it no longer looks like you've just put 2 chains together. This looks like a gold accessory and like a station. It might have another one down here, but it doesn't. Now with that being the way I put 2 of these together, I can hang a long pendant from this, right here. This is about a 42-inch. I can hang a pendant from it. I can also, like I said, take it, it's on, then you grasp the closest part of the extender, right? And what happens? Now I have 2 different length strands. So now you create a cascading look with 2 of the same. So 2 of these would be $150 for 2 strands of sunstone. So that's just a little trick. I love stuff that has versatility. As a jewelry designer and creator, obviously I look at everything and I go, oh, that's nice. What can I do with that? How can I change it? How can I wear it differently? So that's a little tip when you're buying beaded strands or even when you're buying chain from our live TV side. I always think and tell people if it's an 18-inch and you can afford to buy 2, do it because then you can create a double or a 36-inch chain just by putting 2 of them together. So it makes your jewelry much, much more versatile. And that way you don't have to buy now a 30-inch chain. Maybe you'll never see a strand of 36-inch sunstone. So it gives you the capability. Okay, so 2 of those was going to be $150 if you want 2. Your price if you want 1, $75. So that's a nice little tip. So I'm going to jump to the graduated strand. DJ, this is 3 more down. It's the 965 are the last 3 numbers. So this is your larger strand right here of the sunstone also. Now, this is 200 carat, and once again, it has that beautiful oversized lobster claw. This is done in 18 karat vermeil, which is going to be, your 18 karat overlay on sterling silver. When we create our overlay, we use 2.5 micrometers. By law, Shop LC is obligated by law to use 0.5. So 0.5 micrometers, we use 5 times that amount to vermeil our sterling silver, which means it's going to last much, much longer, years and years and years. Most companies don't give you that 2-inch extender. That is something that Shop LC is really, really known for also. Now this, my friends, is your quad 4 sunstone. This is the best of the best you can get out there anywhere in the world. You'll never see a necklace like this again. It has beads in between that are going to be, once again, little, I'm going to say 2 millimeter vermeil sterling silver beads that we've done in 18 karat. Your 2-inch extender. That color of the sunstone is the best in the entire world. Our price on this is going to blow your mind. $179.99. That is crazy. This is shop number 20. After the 25% off, run, grab the phone, and get these while you can, because this is going to be $134.99. $134.99 for sunstone. This is not dyed. This is not heat treated. This is it. And this has that schiller with needle-like pieces of hematite in it. It is spectacular. I haven't seen this color sunstone, and Becky Booker was talking about this because we had a conversation. She eared a couple of sunstone necklaces a few weeks ago, and she said, Cheryl, have you seen that sunstone? And I hadn't until tonight, and now I am wowed. So as Encore would say, ooh la la. This is something that you can add to your wardrobe. Very, very inexpensive. Budget pay it out if you can't. If you can't afford an upright 134. Now remember, that budget pay is for you to take advantage of. If you love this stuff and you want to try it, but you don't want to load up on your credit card, call Personal Shopper and put it on budget pay. That still gives you the 30-day money back guaranteed. So you're only putting out 134. It's going to be about $30. That piece will come to you. You look at it. You go, I love it. I love it. I'm going to keep it. And then we'll continuously bill you and it'll be paid off. Or you go, it's too short. I don't like it. Beads are too big. Whatever. You send it back and we give you your money back. No problem. Okay, we're going to go on to, let's do the Phantom Quartz they're calling. So this is going to be one of your bigger pieces in our beaded necklace repertoire. And reason I say that, if you look at these beads, these are pretty large. Now, I love this. They're labeling this Phantom Quartz. This is probably, to me, it is the clearest of clear. Now, when you're dealing with quartz does come in some pretty gross qualities. There's industrial quality quartz that people try to put on beaded necklaces. But I want you to see the translucency of this. So I'm going to stand back and show you. I'm holding it up to the light so you can see this is completely translucent. Now I'm putting paper behind it. It has all these beautiful, it almost looks like little desert scenes. It has some great stuff. I see some beautiful feathers, some beautiful rainbows, and this is the best quartz because once it's a clear quality like that, that is the best of the best. Graduated from your largest in the center. This is 450 carat of quartz. Once again, magnetic glass, crack it like an egg, boom, and then that just finds its way back to its mate. So fully strung, this is actually strung on quadruple thread. So this is going to last quite a long time. I'm going to put it on the neckline so you can see the size of this. But, this is This is a pretty large statement piece. Now, I would wear this, and I would wear it with either a longer strand of maybe sterling silver beads, or maybe liquid silver, maybe a Tulan Naga from Bali, that beautiful link, maybe a wheat link, a Palma, something that's pretty thick. Even the stainless steel chains that we sell, they look like platinum. So wear a pretty thick chain. I wouldn't wear something really thin as a layered look with this. I think you'd need something a little bit more girthy. You could wear it with shungite or any of the jet beaded necklaces and create a layered look with just the beaded necklaces on their own. But remember, this is clear quartz. This is your energy accelerator. This is found in every electronic movement, every electronic device that we have in the world. Quartz is what is surrounding the entire mantle layer of the world. So believe it or not, quartz comes from everywhere. If you've never experienced it, Arkansas has quartz mines. You can go mine there. There's some pretty decent, beautiful, fingered, clear, best clarity in Arkansas I've ever seen. So this beaded necklace right here, your price on this, $134.99. After the 25% off, $101.24, and this is going to be shop 21. So I'm into my last piece, folks, and I didn't want to leave anybody unattended. So I'm going to bring you the best of the best in one of the most beautiful colored green stones out there. This is going to be your peridot. This is going to be the emerald of the night. This is going to be that stone that mirrors every beautiful emerald that you've ever seen. The quality on this is completely transparent. You can see it when I hold it up. Look at that. Now, these are graduated also, so you have a little bit larger in the center. You have your oversized lobster, your 2-inch extender, with your little DeJoy. Look at how cute that is. That is our designer little logo. I call that back candy. When you have this on, that dangles down your back side, and look at how pretty that is. Now, peridot is one of the only gemstones in the world that is not heat treated at all. Comes out of the ground as beautiful green, and it remains that beautiful green. It is one of those crazy stones. 90% of this stone comes out of the San Carlos Apache Indian Reservation in Arizona. 90% of the peridot, I'm going to say that in the world, comes out of the San Carlos Apache Indian Reservation in Arizona. Super spectacular. Okay, $161.99. This is going to be shop number 22. After the 25% off, you're going to pay $121.49. $121.49 for beautiful colored peridot. All right, folks, that is the end of my Tuesday show. I hope everybody has a fantastic week. We are 1 week closer to spring. Yay! You know, I'm a beach baby. Anytime those flowers start coming out, just makes my heart sing. So everybody who tuned in, thank you so much. I expect to see you here next week. Don't leave me hanging dry. Please tune in. All my friends and family out there, I'm so glad that you were able to see the names come up. And it's nice seeing at least your name, so I know that I'm on your mind, you're on my mind. I miss you all. Everybody, have a fantastic week. Customers out there, Shop LC, Gem Fest. Remember, it's Friday this week coming up, 1 to 5. Come join us down in downtown Austin at our corporate headquarters for fun. Okay, everybody. I'll see you next week. Have a great time. Bye-bye.